right, we are now streaming.
All right, and is there going to be a switcher for the camera to the screen?
So we're using this thing.
What thing?
This thing.
Okay. Can one of you go on to the BECADocs YouTube page and see if we're streaming, please? Thank you.
So we've got laptop and camera, and it just goes to I think that. I think that's it.
So now it's on camera.
Yeah, so it's this thing here. So if we want your laptop, we hit laptop to the recorder.
Mm-hmm.
Let me just double check.
Is it up? Okay. It may not go live until 6:30, which is fine. So I just do laptop to recorder, and then I do camera to recorder. Right? Is it showing a camera? Can you come sit here and show me while we play with this? Oh, okay, perfect. All right, if you're watching us, this is a dry run. Okay, and then let me try going.
Camera, laptop to video conference.
So not recorder, AV?
Correct, it's video conference.
Okay, are you seeing the lap? All right, let's see if it
Passion and
switches.
interpersonal connections. Through the lens of vulnerability, community, and tribe, we unfold the transformative and liberating power of experimental fashion. This exploration extends beyond individualism, delving into the heart of communities and tribes that form around avant-garde fashion. These vibrant collectives celebrate diversity, encouraging a sense of belonging that transcends social boundaries. As we delve into the personal narratives of those who boldly embrace this movement, we discover how vulnerability becomes a strength, fostering a deeper connection between self and style.
Okay, I'm trying to get the laptop on the video conference, but it's still...
Sometimes I feel
Yeah, give it a
very
minute.
vulnerable.
It popped in, yeah.
It can be, it depends.
Oh,
it
there we go.
depends on my mood,
Okay.
it depends on the people around, on where I am.
1, 2.
Okay,
3,
so I only worry about
4,
video conference.
5, 6, 7. Keep watching. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 18, 19,
It depends.
20,
It depends on my mood,
Okay.
it depends on the people around, on where I am.
So it's roughly 30 seconds.
So I only worry about video conference. Great.
Cool.
Just be aware your mics are live, so let me go ahead and mute everything for the time being.
No hot mics?
Mic mute and source mute. So we are currently going to take the camera and send it to the conference computer. So that is live, but there's no audio.
Okay.
So, no
So when we start, I just unmute and then we'll be good to go?
I'll hang out here.
Okay, perfect.
I brought the fruit bowl down.
Was there too much?
So the first one is almost completely gone. I'm going to take what's left home. This is the second one.
Uh-huh.
But I got clever.
Okay,
But
thank
actually,
you.
that looks kind of nice too.
Cool.
I like this fire better than last spring one.
It's all the students every year. It's just the students, whatever they decide to do.
Did you show them how to do it?
I take no responsibility.
Did you grab fruit? Oh, that's drink. That's
All right. It's online, it's streaming.
If one of you guys could do the switching thing, because I'll be kind of
We had our
Okay.
occupied, that would be great.
Am I doing it?
I don't
I
know.
leave it up to you, too. Maybe Mark can do it since you're actually a presenter.
Okay. Don't fuck up, Mark.
and
Or if you want me to do it, I'll do it.
Okay, so let's all have a quick meeting. Larissa, can you join us? Maureen, Mark, let's have a quick rundown. Alright, how's everybody feeling?
Woo!
Nervous? Okay, so what's gonna happen is, we'll probably wait till a little after we'll start with me, so I'm going to welcome everybody, give a few words, and then we'll go into our first song. So that's avant-garde by Anna's work. Okay. So I'll introduce Anna's film. We'll play Anna's film, so you'll switch it. Okay. After it's finished, the filmmaker just comes up directly. You'll have a minute to say whatever thank yous or what inspired you, whatever you want to say.
Oh, so to prepare something?
You can speak spontaneously.
Have you met me?
And then after you say whatever you want to say, or if you don't have to say anything if you don't want to, but you can field a couple of questions or comments from the audience. So two, okay? And then Perna will be running around Philadelphia style with the mic. Okay? All right. And then after your two questions, you know, we'll clap, you step down, and then I'll come up to introduce the next film and start off my laptop.
What's the, is that for questions to the audience?
Oh yes.
Do we want to do two? So one's with the speaker and one's with the question answer? Rather than.
The speaker's gonna be at the podium.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right.
Oh,
Thank
that's
you
like a
all.
crime in this department for some reason.
What, to say podium?
Yeah, I don't know where that came from.
All right.
It feels like it's a Connie thing, right?
I don't know, but it's like something I feel like has to be said. Either way, you just.
And what's the difference? Oh, podium you stand on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't even care. I just like call.
Yeah.
So what number is yours? So I know when to boo.
Yeah, you can boo the whole time, like. You said boo Morgan like in between every like silence.
Oh, yours is so good though.
Oh.
Hey, dear. Well, how's it going? Thanks, guys, for coming.
So, definitely pay attention. After the documentary is done, you just walk up there.
Yeah.
10-4.
Maybe
Direct
more.
instructions.
If you would like to be invited up, we can manage that.
There's
Oh.
environmental 502.
Yeah.
I think there's another one.
Producer.
I know, right?
Hey,
No, it's
camera
good.
operator.
I mean, there's a big
Yeah.
classes. I mean, they
I
hold
know,
events.
though, like
It's
last
usually
because Buddy wanted like a music. I wasn't gonna do credits, and then Buddy wanted a music credit, and I had to spend like 10 minutes googling like how do you credit yourself when you did everything else.
I just went direct to the movies.
So I ended
the
up going
screen
with a
basically
film
is like so
buy.
blinding. So.
Oh, that's good. I had two people do
It's like
two other different things though.
Oh, okay, yeah,
Like I
yeah.
had
that's
one
like one of those.
person help me do stuff for one shoot, and I had my friend produce a soundtrack.
Oh, cool.
For projection.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I have
Too
seen
bright.
people that insisted on like listing every
But-
position of their name.
Yay!
It's alright. So
15
here's what
times.
happens then. It's like
I've
that's
had
just like
seen other people do it where they have all the versions of.
and also
Their name is the first time.
or
It's
just
like
maybe the
same,
icons, but like when the
same.
Yeah.
picture puts on like a slide that has a solid bright color, it
Well,
makes
this
it
one
like
included the
Oh.
very beginning.
Andrew, what's the deal? Are we hitting the lights?
I'm the light
Oh,
person.
you're the light?
Sitting near
Oh.
the lights.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yes,
Uh,
I recognize
music
your film. I'm
by
Andrew.
so everything
Nice
else,
to meet you.
me.
You are Christian film student, right? Okay.
Thank you.
Bisharia?
Yeah.
Bisharian? Bisharia? Bisharian?
She has, I mean, it's Anna, it's Anna. It doesn't really matter.
Do you know how to pronounce Anastasia's last name? Slobodorov Nikova.
So the advice like my last time.
Anna knows
You graduated?
Russian, so she would be able to.
didn't raise your hand when she asked.
I did late. Like I was typing something, I was like, oh, she just asked that. And I raised my but I'm probably not gonna.
Yeah.
Wait, what about mine, Andrew?
The waffle.
No, because I want to say I'm going to introduce
Get a
you.
match.
Yeah, I'm going to introduce the top.
You're not gonna practice
Maybe
for
I'll do that.
Hi.
I kind of feel like I had that.
Wait,
You
for
know,
that?
it's like the token.
Morgan Butler.
Yeah.
It'll be like
I feel
you.
like
Yeah.
Hey, brother!
Morgan.
Yeah.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm Andrew.
Yeah.
You're really nice to meet you.
Hi.
physical,
So are you gonna-
large crowd of physical
Oh, okay.
people, that freaks me out.
Do you guys bring food for us? Like,
No, this
No.
got me bread,
wish.
and I'm gonna go on after presenting with my bread and everything.
So
It might be like a legit
So that's
full-time
how-
video gig, but that's why
Yeah.
About because they work.
So,
they'll probably actually want me
read our docs and then we'll have
to stream.
You have work? Okay, awesome.
I mean, I can do
Okay, limited.
I don't think it's gonna
Yeah.
help me much.
I should see what that starting is.
Yeah,
Well, last semester was
I am excited too because
Is that actually the title?
I've only
And this was, one was about mushrooms.
so I had to find.
Okay, that's fine. One was about sex.
Do they still have
One was
the?
about.
No,
No, okay, this is.
The amount of documents.
Documents are all fit about that fucking sauce.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, this is.
I used to
All pile up
I
on
used
that.
to be one of the professors
Oh.
Take them out. 7 years.
The speakers on stands are gone now, right?
Yeah.
I'm just getting
It's plugged in.
Oh, okay, for sure.
No idea if it's actually
Yeah.
signal.
But yeah, hang out with me tomorrow.
Sorry about getting pulled out.
No, no, I.
I'm like, oh, my procrastination just got me
No,
again.
honestly, I didn't finish. I didn't have this finished till Tuesday.
It's got.
Hey, you got it 2 days ahead. I'm usually like a couple hours before. I'm like, fuck, I'm not gonna graduate.
Tuesday and turned it in.
You also want like.
I think Tuesday.
Okay, well, you're actually doing really great.
Yeah, so it's a good.
Matching.
I am learning to be
Left and right.
much better.
So the students can see.
I'm too tired to work on this right
Yeah,
now,
yeah.
so I'm
The outcome is the result of the content.
hi, how are you doing?
Good.
Good to see you again.
Nice to see you.
Hello.
How you doing?
All right.
Yeah, you do a quality of the program.
I hope it works. I don't want to do any more middle of a production fixing of things.
Yeah, hi.
Are you still, are you doing your grad?
I'll ask her.
Yeah, I'm actually showing a document. And we're with her.
Oh, nice. I heard it was, related.
Do you like my art?
I was gonna ask if you
Yeah,
clap me
yeah.
for the accent.
I like ran out of things.
Are you still doing the radio?
I am, and then this, I didn't
No
finish
one
it
else
this
would do
semester,
that.
but I
Well,
have
no, probably anyone from so.
You can tell that I lost interest of the E.
showed, had a big meeting.
You went with the easy route.
Gotta finish it.
Where did you start? With the T?
No,
With the O?
with the B. I'm gonna stripe all of them.
You started with the B and you didn't get to the
Right,
S's until the
Is Anna
fifth one.
Yeah.
The sixth one.
to hear I was going, but
I'm excited you're here too.
Yeah.
More illustrious
It
alumni.
actually got like more and more cute as you went.
she's
Oh,
because
And you have an MFA. Master's of art.
Grammy much.
You want to call her?
I'm kinda, I don't know if Cynthia will actually come, but
Oh, she's waiting for
she
something.
would.
Okay.
But if you need to, then
Prerna,
can.
are all your people here?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just getting.
Can if you want.
For it right now.
Yeah, she's waiting for something.
I'll tell you.
Possibly, I don't know. She's coming back from Florida today.
We'll try. We'll give it a few more minutes. Alright.
Oh my god, are you kidding me?
I do.
Oh, Molly's calling.
Oh my god, so much.
you excited? Did you make your own? Right?
Like, is anybody else going?
Great. All right. I bet. Yes. It's very like weird to imagine you guys taking this class like so deep. I remember when I was like, I was like, back then, this is pretty cool.
Yeah.
I did that my first semester in the master's program and was like, yeah, I saw Becca, I was like, okay, she's killing it.
My department. Welcome to my film festival.
Okay, Mark, we're ready to get started.
Okay.
Yeah, so yeah, sometimes like but it's
Let me know when we're live.
Your mics are out.
We're live streaming?
We should be.
All right, thank you everyone for coming. If you could go ahead and take your seats and get settled in. The show is to begin shortly. Bianca, are you seeing us on the live stream? We are? Okay, awesome. Everyone, good evening and welcome to our 2023 December BECADocs Film Festival. I'm really grateful that all of you are here, and we also want to welcome all of you watching on our YouTube live stream. My name is Andrew Hongo. I'm a professor here at San Francisco State in our Department of Broadcast and Electronic Communication Arts. Tonight we'll be screening some films from the class that I teach on documentary production with our illustrious graduate students, who I am extremely proud of. Before I forget, I want to give special thanks to Mark Taylor, who's helping us with our engineering needs, and to our administrative wunderkind, Kendra Harris, and also to our department chair, Lena Zhang, for her support. I just want to tell you a little bit about this class. Our students come into this class with various levels of experience in video production and storytelling, but they're extremely gifted. And so over the course of a semester, they come up with story ideas, they pitch those ideas and refine them. They go out and they find people to interview. They go out and they film B-roll and different scenes. And then they actually edit and write and shape the story into a compelling narrative. And we have a really wide range of topics covering tonight. So I think it'll be really compelling and exciting. Before we even start, I just want to congratulate all of our graduate students on your work this semester. You should be very proud of yourselves. It is not easy to produce a documentary. As some of our Molly's here, she well knows it's not easy to produce a documentary, but they've all done stellar work. All right, so our first film tonight is by Anna Bishadian and Buddy Solomon. It is The Liberating Quality of Avant-Garde Fashion.
Woo!
There should be audio. Are we muted?
And interpersonal.
Let's start this again.
This is a journey that goes beyond conventional styles and norms to explore the profound impact of avant-garde fashion on individual expression and interpersonal connections. Through the lens of vulnerability, community, and tribe, we unfold the transformative and liberating power of experimental fashion. This exploration extends beyond individualism, delving into the heart of communities and tribes that form around avant-garde fashion. These vibrant collectives celebrate diversity, encouraging a sense of belonging that transcends social boundaries. As we delve into the personal narratives of those who boldly embrace this movement, we discover how vulnerability becomes a strength, fostering a deeper connection between self and style. Sometimes I feel very vulnerable. It depends. It depends on my mood, it depends on the people around, on where I am. But it can be a very destructive feeling actually, to feel vulnerable and not to be able to do something with that. But
what I found as a kind of as a way to deal with my vulnerability is I'm doing that through fashion, through the way I look, through the way I pick up clothes. So one day I may feel very vulnerable, and this is the day when I want to look powerful most of all. So I will just pull off some crazy outfit. And it works in the end because people just see me wearing some crazy stuff, but actually what I feel inside is very fragile and maybe not very sure of where I'm going, but that's okay. Just people need to see where they need to see. People who are the most dressed up are the most vulnerable. And that's also the connection I kind of sometimes feel with the people when I see avant-garde-ish people look like avant-garde-ish fashion on people, or people who are experimental in their style. So I'm like, so you also have sort of trauma, well, like weakness that you're trying to cover. Sometimes you feel unsecure with you wearing, because I feel so much more vulnerable kind of when I look like this than when I just, well, I never really look normal because I have this fucking shit all the time. I love this. You know how much struggle and pressure it can be to wear something different and out of normality. So when I saw you, I was like, this should be very empowering. Like absolutely. It's like, could you describe your experience of wearing? I just witched them.
You witched them?
Yeah.
I feel so much. I feel the most free. I feel the most. I feel I'm celebrating myself. Like, I also love to feel fully committed to art. Like, I want to feel like I've painted everything. Like I feel like completely. This sounds kind of cheesy. Like completely free in this expression, and that feels so good. That like. No matter the comments, when I see the family, you know, when I'm in public, I don't care because it's like, I can't care.
Yeah, I mean,
Just keep my head down. And then I'm just like, but then I keep my head down except for when I'm out, and then I'm just like, you can see me now.
Do you feel like this makeup or any makeup, it adds or something extra than you are? Or how does it feel? Or it's just like...
Yeah, I feel like it absolutely adds so much. I feel like it adds context. Like I feel like it describes the setting. Like it communicates so much to people without me having to really say anything or for anyone to like.
This tip with some eyeshadow.
You know, they know so much about me like 20 feet across the room, like already. Even though it's a whole different persona. Be vulnerable in a crowd or in a space where. Yeah, where maybe I can't be 100% vulnerable, but like through this like manifestation of it, I think.
Do you feel like by being vulnerable, you're like taking that power back?
Absolutely. Yes. Kind of like how I said earlier, if this communicates so much of me, I think it's easy to feel really small and unseen and invisible, and I think because I was given that space to like, you know, I had a microphone in my hand and, you know, I was singing my music and singing my heart out, and yeah, I felt like protected. Yeah.
Expressions.
Yeah, through these looks, like, yeah, my art and stuff. Yeah. Yeah, I felt like I was being looked out after because I felt like I was a part of these people now because, like, you know, they were cheering for me and I was dancing for them, like, we shared that moment, and, yeah, tonight I'm really looking forward to that, too. Like, it's gonna be a very emotional, performance for
Fashion has the power to connect people in certain type of tribes, I call them. I like the word tribe because it's very specific in a way that it says what kind of aesthetics you belong to or what kind of life vision you share.
Because when I became friends with Life, like everything changed for me because there's finally someone else to bounce ideas off of and to becoming like I wouldn't look the way I do if like I didn't have like if you weren't there.
See people and they're like serving a look and you're like, oh my god, that speaks to me in some ways. And you're like, I want to talk to you. I want to be your friend. Let's be friends. Like I see what you're saying. I understand that and that is so beautiful and I love that about life.
To tie it back into fashion, because I'm like I think collectively there's always a collective mind because I'm like I was obsessed with aliens and I was drawing them. Now that I do this and I'm like there are a lot of other aliens out there. They're not really in San Francisco, but they're in like London and
Մենք մի շփվել ենք իրար հետ ու ես էլ եմ տեսել թե ինչքան կարևոր է մեր համար եղել support-ը ու care-ը մնացած խմբերի հանդեպ, որոնց հետ դեռ մենք կարենք չշփվեինք. You just care.
You just care.
Որովհետև դու հասկանում ես, որ դուք երկուսդ է շատ, չգիտեմ, vulnerable եք հասարակության մեջ ու բոլորը կարիք ունեն support-ի ու բոլորը չունեն դաժե գիտակցություն, թե ինչ է կատարվում ու կարան առավելից երկրների նման ոնց որ Հայաստանն է կամ չգիտեմ, post-սովետական բոլոր երկրները հիմնականում շատ հոմոֆոբ են ու մնացած երկրները որտեղ էլի հոմոֆոբ են.
Question helps us kind of identify with each other, like we belong to the same tribe, kind of.
From my experience, coming from Armenia, which is like pretty reserved in a way, it's like conservative, very masculine oriented, so you have to look in a certain way to fit the society and just like not to be judged. So, and I have like lots of friends that are from queer community and they told me so much about fashion. It's like they I think they kind of reshaped my idea of what fashion is. My friend Argishti made this shirt inspired by me. This is me. I don't remember how old I was, but he just stole this picture from my mother and he used it for his fashion collection, which is called T-shirt Anna. And this is so important to me. This just speaks about the connection I have with friends through fashion and how inspirational I can be to people and how inspirational they can be to me.
It started since I was a kid, really. I mean, my grandmother was a fashionista and she was very inspiring in that way. Like we would go to thrift shops when I was super young and like just her closet was so fab. Like she was just such a goddess and just so femme and just like embodied like the feminine divinity of a woman, you know, and I'm, you know, we're Chinese and Vietnamese, so like that cultural aspect brought into the fashion, like, and like it like meshing with, I'm Canadian, so we were living in Canada at the time, and just that cross of like Chinese, Vietnamese cultured cross with like moving to Canada and like, you know, bringing in those elements. But I mean, my inspiration has always been, I mean, I was a tomboy growing up, so I really loved like, you know, tapping into the androgynous, you know, styles. Like I love wearing oversized things. Like, I mean, this blazer, it's just like, I love an oversized blazer, you know, like it's just, for me, it's like an oversized blazer with a tiny little top and then like baggy jeans or something, or just big trousers. It's kind of like that juxtaposition is really nice because, I mean, Aliyah, she's a huge inspiration of mine, right? So it's kind of like that. But I mean, I've also been really drawn to darker things, darker textures, and I think music has been a huge influence on, you know, my style. And but in terms of just like community and like, you know, people and like just seeing my peers and people that I love that really inspire me, like come to a place that I've like, you know, put together an event and everyone's coming out and they're gonna serve their looks. It's like, that to me is like the juice and the nectar of life, like fashion, right? Because it makes life so exciting. I mean,
kind of like how my makeup and like my room and stuff, I'm like a very like exploding person. Like I
Okay.
picture just like a bucket like overfilling with like just so much shit, and I feel like
a little lower than the front.
I feel like the
I
front
think
has
that's
to be much
what makes me
lower.
unique in the way that I perform, is that I think
But it's a
there's
good
so many
shape.
people who are minimalists and
And I
like
feel like I
they're
can just keep.
yeah, absolutely, and still making awesome art. You
I,
know?
Can I do it?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Sitting on the floor in the middle of a room doing nothing, and that's
Yeah.
their performance. Or someone could be like shooting fireworks out of their boobs and like and I think I lean more towards that one.
The fireworks.
The fireworks out of the boobs for sure.
The number's called The Visitor, and it's like, so I want to be kind of like this like ethereal like spirit type of like deeply knowing thing.
Lost his fight alone. God was really walking. He can't be guided though. Get out of his way. He just said, oh, if I just switch all the strengths and
Here, clothes transform into canvases, reflecting the inner desires, dreams, and characters of those who wear them.
all the falls and stars looking for my future. Bring me life.
Through the lens of creativity and inspiration, we witness the power of clothes that challenge biased notions, sparking a transformation in the way we perceive and interact with one another.
So many restless names I've broken to myself. The power lies in that you get just what you give. If I would do my best, no record for perfect, I could bear my deepest. If I would do my best, no record for perfect, I can guide my future. I am
Liberating quality of avant-garde fashion is the freedom, is the community, is the tribal expression, is the power to do whatever you want to do, and the power to be whoever you want to be. And I just love it. It's so much liberating.
She would let Carol card and then a smile that said, the world was made for those who can begin again.
Oh my god, the drama. So I forgot to mention, after each film, I'll invite the filmmaker up. They'll give a few comments, and then take a couple of questions or comments from the audience. In the celebratory nature of tonight's event, I'd ask that all questions or comments be positive and encouraging to our young filmmakers. But Anna, I mean, this is such a visually arresting piece, so striking, the images, but you also take us beneath the surface with a really intimate, vulnerable look at our characters' lives. So congratulations. Come on up and say a few words.
Oh my God. Do you hear me?
Yeah.
Nice. Okay. Yeah, this is my first documentary in my entire life. Thank you. Thank you, Professor Hongo. It was a long, exciting, crazy journey, but thank you all for coming and looking at it. And thank you for Morgan and Buddy and my heroes that inspired me in the whole journey. And thank you, Professor, for all the comments and feedback. And yeah, it's just very liberating. Thank you. Thanks. And if you have any questions, please.
What did you want the audience to take away from this?
I think one of the main ideas behind the documentary was the idea that the people, hi Alex, the people that are experimental in their style actually share the same type of vulnerabilities, and sometimes they cover their vulnerabilities with their looks. That was one of the main ideas, and also the community behind and the strong connection that people feel towards each other when they see each other looking weird. I mean, if it makes sense.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, sure. Thank you.
Could you share the story of the photograph?
Sorry?
Could you share the story of the photograph?
This one?
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is this is me. I don't remember how old I was, but my friend Argishti, he just stole this picture from my mom, and he made a collection, like his brand is called Heritage Selective, and he defines it as his heritage is his friends, the memories, the culture he has. So he just stole this picture. I didn't know that, and he just made a collection of T-shirts with me, which he called T-shirt Anna, which I thought was kind of cute, but then I was like, what the hell are you doing? But I was like, and then I realized the broad meaning of the word heritage. Actually, it can be so strong, like so broad, and also very personal. Yeah. So yeah, that's the story behind the T-shirt.
Just one more.
Sure.
Go ahead, you can choose one more.
Molly?
I guess I'm curious if there was a part of this that you really enjoyed that you were surprised by like if there was a fun part about it that was surprising to you.
Yeah, I guess the whole journey was crazy, because what I had in my mind in the beginning was very different what I have now, whatever you're watching. So I guess the whole journey was so crazy that it humbled me very much, in a sense that I just went with the team that I'm working with the people that I'm working with. I just tried to listen to their story and adjust my story to them, because actually it's a collective story about the people that I shoot the documentary about, and I'm kind of part of it. So yeah, it was a very humbling journey for me. Yeah, I did it.
Thank you, Anna.
Thank you.
Congratulations. All right, next up we have Homelessness in San Francisco Through the Lens of an International Student by Prerna Shandilia. Ready?
San Francisco is known to be the tech hub of the world. It houses some of the most iconic places like the Golden Gate Bridge, Palace of Fine Arts, and its skyscraping buildings. And every year, international students come to the city for higher studies. According to SF State's Office of International Program, 1,035 students enroll at this campus for the spring of 2023. While they enjoy their studies and most things about the city excite them, many encounter an issue they weren't expecting.
I saw SF in videos, YouTube, Instagram, and it was quite different than what I imagined. And when I came here, I had no clue homelessness was this critical. So it was quite a surprise for me.
In terms of homelessness in San Francisco, it's very unprecedented and unique, simply because San Francisco is known for having the most billionaires of one area, like the most billionaires in the world in one city, and still has this prominent situation with homelessness.
Many Americans don't like to talk about the fear that develops around a homeless resident simply because they don't want to sound insensitive or rude. But experts say if you're afraid, bringing it into the open is actually a good thing.
I think if people are afraid of what they're experiencing on the street, they should talk about it. Talk about it with people that understand and that know what's going on in the street, because sometimes situations are dangerous. Homelessness is a multifaceted issue. It's not just one thing with one answer. And most people's homelessness looks different than the person next to them. So we have stereotypes. Sometimes those stereotypes are true, sometimes they're not true. San Francisco has a number of different problems that are all associated with homelessness. Sorry, so behavioral health, drug use, and people living on the streets. And they're not always homeless, right? So people using on the streets may be engaging with their community, but they may actually have a home, right? So what we see on the streets, there's a percentage of it that's actual people experiencing homelessness, and there's a percentage of it that is very much something else.
Roberto Gracia experienced homelessness for 6 years. He explains how challenging it was for him to find shelter.
It's a task being unhoused and trying to get a shelter, a shelter bed. You have to get up at about 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, then go down to a one place to put your name on a list by 5 o'clock in the morning, get in line, you gotta queue up, and then come back to that same place at 4 in the afternoon to get a shelter bed. And if you don't do this, you don't get a bed. So you're kind of stuck in this circle of waiting all the time for something to happen.
Roberto acknowledges that it's understandable for the public to be anxious around homeless people.
Well, some of it's not unwarranted. I mean, people act out. I had an undiagnosed psychiatric disorder during the time I was unhoused. And it wasn't until I attempted suicide that it was discovered. But I didn't act out. That wasn't my thing. But there are a lot of people with schizophrenia, etc. A lot of anger issues. So the public, in a sense, does needs to be hesitant when dealing with the unhoused, but not necessarily afraid.
According to Homeless and Housing Strategies for California, homelessness count for the year 2023 increased statewide by 9%.
This is Daly City BART station, and I commute every day over here. This is basically from where I go to my university or anywhere else. And this is also the place where an incident took place, where I encountered a homeless person. I was waiting for my bus on the BART station, and there was a group of homeless residents. One of them was severely under drugs influence, and what happened is he came up to me, he started slurring, and he started sledging, and he was basically commenting in a very racial way. He was very inappropriate in his way. He was very offensive, and I was pretty scared about that, and I didn't know what to do at that point of time.
While it may sound dehumanizing to homeless residents, there is fear present and many people can relate to it, especially international students.
My first reaction was I was just overwhelmed because I don't know why, but I think they make the atmosphere of the city very overwhelmed and tensive.
Definitely feel scared, and I had a lot of anxiety at the beginning because I don't know what they're gonna do to me. I know not all of them are attractive, but I'm pretty sure some of them are.
I'm scared of homeless people because I feel that their behavior is quite unpredictable, and when you are around them, you just feel that anything can happen.
For this film, we wondered how should we respond to this fear that is so prevalent? Could getting to know more about the issue actually start a productive discussion? So we suggested Yash to reach out to Episcopal Community Services.
I think there's a general understanding that California didn't build enough housing for about 20 years, and that or more, and that includes San Francisco. So we're in a housing crisis, not just a homelessness crisis.
What can one do to help with the homelessness issue at an individual level in the San Francisco area?
The individual level is really a hard question. Everyone is looking for the right answer. It's really paying attention to what you see in the streets, what you see around you, finding places to volunteer in your community that are addressing what you're seeing.
The issue of homelessness is spiraling. According to Department of Homeless and Housing Crisis, 4,400 people sleep on the street every night in San Francisco. Roberto believes there is still hope, and it is a humanitarian crisis that needs immediate attention.
I made a core of friends now, and they've also decided that they're going to stay here. And so, we can grow old together. I'm looking forward to that. The streets out here are improving. I mean, I know the city has a new tactic now with dealing with open use of fentanyl and et cetera on the streets. It's not going to be tolerated any longer. I don't know what the solution is. I don't know. Draconian measures may not work either. I mean, I don't know what the solution is, but it's a crisis that needs to be dealt with.
Prerna, you knew from the get-go this was going to be not an easy topic to address and a very complex one, but I applaud you for being undeterred in your desire to shed some light on this issue, and I think you did so with real nuance and compassion, so thank you for that. All right, Prerna, come up and say a few words.
Hi, everyone. So this has been a personal journey for me, especially because I'm an international student, and when I first came to this city, I did not know that homelessness was this critical here, because that was my ignorance, of course, but being around homeless people just made me scared. And when I spoke to my friends and people who have come from different countries to this country, also shared the same experience. And I thought that people should talk about that fear. I mean, this journey has been, a learning experience as well. I got to know so many new things that I did not know about. It's a housing crisis and not just homelessness crisis. And there's so many other issues like mental health and drug use that needs to be addressed before finding a solution to homelessness. And I think it was very, very difficult for me to shoot and talk to people and meet all these people because there were so many, I would say, it was just difficult because I did not know how to address the issue in the first place, because I was confused in my head that how to deal with it myself. But then Professor Hongo, he really helped me through a journey, and of course all my colleagues as well. They were constantly telling me how to address the issue and how to go about it. So that was helping, and thanks to Yash, he has been very, very helpful throughout. I've been asking him to be there and for the shoot, and he was always there. So thank you everybody else who was there. I think I'm proud of it. Yeah. Yeah.
So do you feel that, like, sort of before you did the documentary and after you did the documentary, do you feel different about how you feel around homeless people, or like is the fear kind of changed for you, or any of the beliefs that you had about people who happen to be in that situation?
Definitely. I think after especially talking to Roberto Gracia, I think I love that man. I literally took time to speak to him before and after the interview, and it was eye opening for me. I feel much more empathetic, and I know there's an issue, and I know there is fear around homeless people by international students, but I also know right now that the issue is graver. It's much more deeper than we can feel from the superficial level. So yeah. Yes.
Did you make a conscious choice not to address the fact that escalating rents are pushing a lot of people into the streets?
I mean, my story was about the fear that is there within the international students, and therefore I sticked to it. And
Understood.
yes.
There was a full documentary of LDS Church, and it's kind of your competitor. Maybe you did see this documentary. So maybe do you remember the documentary?
I think it was a video short about.
No, it's a 45 minutes. It's almost like full documentary, and I published this on LDS website.
Okay, no, I haven't got a chance to look at it, but I will. Yeah.
But for the first time, it's a great job. Sound,
Thank you.
framing, everything.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you, Prerna. All right, our next film by Larissa Salvatine is The Kitchen and I.
My name is Tiffany Zipperteza, and I'm a designer, regardless of whether I have a job or not. Being a designer really, honestly, just informs how I view the world, how I move through it, how I interact with it, and it's who I am to my core. To be honest, you caught me at an interesting time in my life. I'm currently in this weird transition phase where I'm not working. For most of my life, I've just been working, hustling, just focused on my career and craft. I used work as an excuse to ignore my personal life, my love life, my relationships with people, my hobbies, just everything that makes me me. I always use work as an excuse, and now that I have the time, I finally have the opportunity to do things that is exciting apart from work. This documentary, for instance, is a merging of my two interests, something creative and also food, which I love. I'm curious, are people exploring food in the same way I am? Honestly, I got this recipe from TikTok, like everybody else, but I don't have the exact ingredients, so I'm just winging it. Ooh, maybe some stuff. Today, I am making a green onion vinaigrette for my bread. I have nothing else in the fridge, and I just bought a lot of green onions to plant for my minimal herb garden. I immigrated to America when I was 2. So I was born in the Philippines. I didn't grow up there. We grew up poor. My parents were a bit older when they immigrated, so assimilating to American culture was harder. Specifically, the town I grew up in was Tulare. We were known for milk and teen pregnancies. So I beat the odds, honestly. Left that small town, not pregnant, and not drinking a lot of milk now. I think moving to a town where there aren't a lot of Filipinos or Asian people, I really crave the connection with my culture. There wasn't a lot of options in terms of Asian food, like how it is in the Bay, where there's like Japanese, Korean, Cambodian, Thai. And so when I eventually moved out to college in San Jose and overall in the Bay Area, it was like a big culture shock and a lot of things were new for me. I think growing up, I really was not as proud to be Filipino because, I don't know, there wasn't a community there to uplift or to be proud of. I think that's why I try to delve in deeper into the things I cook, try to, make more Filipino food, explore different cultures in my cooking a bit more, since for the longest time growing up, I didn't have that access. It's, for me, like a form of design where you grab different elements or ingredients and you compose the overall dish. So like in design, you get like typography, colors, visual elements, and you put them together to get like a greater result, to create this bigger piece. And that's why I like cooking. Oh, yeah. I'm on this quest to learn more of who I am through other mediums or other topics that aren't related to design. I'm curious to see how people interact with food, how much it's important in their life, and how it affects them. I don't know. Well, I mean, walk me through your typical. Do you just go right in to eating?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Or do you want to clean up?
Let's try it. Yeah.
Okay, let's do it. To start off this journey, we're meeting with San Francisco baker Eileen Sarr to talk to her about the joys of cooking. So, what are we whipping up today?
Today we're making coconut mochi with a Biscoff filling.
Why did you pick this recipe to share with me today?
I like how simple it is. It's really easy to make. Whenever we would get like Sunday dim sum, like this was like one of my favorite desserts we would get. So first, you're gonna combine glutinous rice flour in a bowl. And then I throw in some white sugar for the sweetness. And then this is coconut milk, and the whole can is just gonna go in there. I actually make this with my students at the school I work at. Get to host cultural events for the school. And so on Lunar New Year or Mid-Autumn Festival, I'll show the parents and the students how to make this and hopefully to like encourage them to get in the kitchen together. Baking was a way for me and my mom to hang out in the kitchen together. And I just love how like rewarding it is because I get to share what I make with my friends and family.
How long do we stir for?
So you're gonna keep stirring like constantly over medium heat until it starts to get that Play-Doh like type of texture. Do you want to give it a try?
Sure, why not? It's just a consistent stir.
So after you put the mochi down, you're gonna put cornstarch over the top.
All right.
And then you're just gonna roll it out. And it got so much smoother too. We're gonna let this cool down. While we let this cool down, we're gonna make the filling. So in here.
Okay, what's this right here?
This is Biscoff cookies. You ever have them before?
A few.
Yeah, so good with like, you know, that airplane coffee. This is just unsweetened shredded coconut flakes. We're gonna coat the mochi at the end with this coconut.
Like a snowball.
Yeah, like a snowball. So
Or like Asian.
Yes, exactly. This is our landing zone right here. Do you want to make some with me? And then we're gonna just start trying to roll this into a ball, kind of like Play-Doh.
So from a pierogi.
Yep.
To
and it's pretty malleable, so you're just gonna keep.
Is there a technique that you just like fold in?
I just go with feeling.
I just need to follow my heart a bit more.
Yeah.
I'm overthinking things. So, through cooking, is it like a form for you to reconnect with, you know, your culture?
I feel like it's a form of expression for me, definitely. Do you want some?
Yeah. Would you say it's also a way for you to like just exercise mindfulness?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, especially baking, I get to just like tune out and only focus on one thing.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's very meditative. That's why I love baking. I'm gonna eat the, you know, wonky looking one.
Okay. I'm excited. It's tough. Mochi.
Ah.
All right. Salud.
Salud.
Mmm. The crunchiness.
Mm-hmm. And then the mochi's so soft, even though it like took very little effort.
I don't know. Surprisingly, this wasn't hard.
Mm-hmm.
Like being Vietnamese is very much part of who I am. It's in the language, it's in the culture. It was the family meals and what that looked like. It was embedded in everything that was home to me.
Can you tell me a little bit about yourself, about your upbringing?
Who am I? My name is Cynthia Lei. I'm from San Jose, California. My family carries quite a bit of a story. Both of my parents were post-war immigrants, post-Vietnam War. My dad came in the late 80s and my mom came in 1990. And 2 years later, I came into the world.
Love that.
Yeah.
Would you say your family's history of, you know, being entrenched in war, being refugees, how has that, I don't know, influenced the way you move in the world?
I've always felt so connected to my heritage. I think it really started with being my grandma's grandchild. My grandma pretty much raised me because my mom was working so much. My dad was also working. And so I'd spend all my days at home with my grandma. Cooking with my grandma was how we spent time together. My grandma was always very protective of her kitchen though. So I was really only always allowed to sous chef, prep cook, line cook. That was our like shared playground together. And it was also a way for me to do a thing and do it right and make her proud in some way.
Would you say these experiences, I don't know, were the base or catalyst for why you started your food pop-up, C2C?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 100%. C2C is a evolving kind of cultural project for me by way of food and music. You know, something that I had like yearned to do for a long time is to share my culture in a way that I feel like hasn't really been done yet, and put people on, I think, to food beyond banh mi and pho. Like,
all right, there's more to those two.
Yeah, but wait, there's more. There's a whole lot more. I made bánh giò for the pop-up that we did here at Open Book Project. We collaborated, or I collaborated with Open Book Project in what we call the After School Special, where we featured bánh giò. It's typically a like rice dumpling cake, steamed cake. It was traditionally served, it's like a cheap on-the-go food. I lean more towards like street food, kind of hawker style things. I want my food to be like inclusive.
Yeah, accessible for
accessible.
A lot of people.
Totally. So that's why I try to make it common people's food, everyday our people food. Pinky up's not really my forte.
Your shtick, okay.
It's not my shtick.
Would it be presumptuous for me to say that you love food?
I love food.
What about food do you love, I guess?
Oh man, I've loved food from like since I was a kid. It was just a way, you know, like we were talking a bit earlier, but a way I connected with my heritage. It was very special to me to learn about my culture by what we ate and the way we ate it, and in what settings we ate it in and who we ate with. Like, I think sitting down to like break bread together is such like a powerful experience that you can share with people, and something that I really treasure in doing with friends too, like recreating that family, that kamyadan experience and feeling.
Well, up to you. Do you want to feed friends or yourself today?
Friends. Yeah.
I have more stuffing. I promise I'll make you. Yeah.
Okay, here we go. We're gonna do this. Food has this capacity to the last time I filmed was a portion, an interview with Cynthia Lay. For some context, after that interview, I took some time and went to the Philippines for a month. And this trip for me was more so an opportunity to see my family, to reconnect with my culture as an adult, and of course, enjoying the food. Specifically the regional food, the food that only exists within that province, within that town of Sariaya. After my 1 month stay in the Philippines, I had some time to reflect a bit, and after my interviews with Eileen and Cynthia, it became abundantly clear that food has this unique ability to connect people, you know, physically, whether that is enjoying a meal together or cooking and preparing food together, or even bringing together a community. Food has this strange, otherworldly ability to reflect who we are back into the practice, back into the meal that we consume. Because you can't remove the person, you can't remove the cook from the food. I think that's why I love food so much.
Larissa, where? Oh, there you are. Larissa, when I've had a hard day and I get home and I curl up with a stiff drink on the sofa in my blanket, this is exactly what I want to watch. It is delicious, but also very nourishing. And through food, you take us into identity and culture and families. So really, really beautifully done. Come on, Larissa. Oh, and when we get to the Q&A section, Perna has a microphone so that those in our online live streaming world can hear the questions as well. But go ahead, Larissa.
Tiffany brought me bread, and I thought it'd be fitting if I bring it up with me. So thank you, Tiffany. I really couldn't have done this without a lot of the people in this room. Tiffany is here, Cynthia's here, Megan, who some of this was filmed in Open Book Project. She is here. Megan is here as well. And honestly, I thank a lot of people in this room because I feel like a lot of my inspiration comes from this department, which I get all the opportunities that I do, but just as much as my classmates who are very good at supporting and giving me feedback. And then, of course, my friends who I love to make. I have this running thing where I just make stories about my friends. And so this is what it was inspired by. I met Cynthia and I was like, wow, what an interesting person. And it would be cool to do something about food. And then Tiffany was also doing stuff with food. And Eileen, I had already known, was doing things with food. So it's just nice to see this culmination. So thank you, everybody who is here in this room. And thank you for whoever's watching. I appreciate it. It's been a journey for sure. Yeah. Any questions? Yeah.
Yeah, I just want to say I thought that the film, the editing and the film were fantastic. I mean, I didn't think I would like that many separate frames, and I really like the use of black space. It was kind of like a palette cleanser, you know. It just, you know, and the detail in the camera work. Whoever was the camera.
I did a lot of it.
Well, the shots.
And Justin shouts us to Justin Romero.
Shots almost recreated the moment. The only thing it was missing was taste division.
Thank you.
If it just had taste division, it would have been a Academy Award winner.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you. Anybody else? Oh, in the back. Yes, you and Diego.
Hello. That was really nice to watch. I had a question about kind of just like the production of, working with kind of a host in a way, and how that differed from, I guess the first couple ones were a little bit slightly more self-insert, or how was that?
Yeah, so it's so funny because when we started in this class, we had been going over documentaries that we really like, and I had mentioned that I really love Parts Unknown and No Reservations by Anthony Bourdain. And I had originally gone in a direction totally different from what this was in the beginning, and then I had to shift just for reasons, and then it just started to move in that direction. And then I think it was just like I was watching a story Tiffany put on Instagram, and I was like, she would make a great host. And then I hit her up and was like, hey, do you want to do this documentary with me?
Awesome, that's so cool.
And it was a lot of fun. I think it was interesting to be able to work with someone to be kind of, I really liked having a centerpiece that you could go back to, and kind of have that, again, a lot of this is about connection. So having kind of like a base to be able to go back to connect with. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, I didn't realize I didn't make the connection to Bourdain, but that totally makes sense.
Yeah. Any other questions?
One more.
Sure. Kendra.
I just wanted to say I have
too much culture, and so I can't really appreciate my food. So watching and seeing how other people like connect to their food was awesome. And like they said, I thought I was watching a professional film.
Thank you.
You did a really, really good job. You are so self-effacing, but you are awesome.
Thank you.
You are so awesome.
Thank you,
All right, our next film is The Way I See by Anastasia Ogorodnikova. Are we ready?
So my name is Anastasia, and as you know, I'm doing this project about art. I call it The Way I See, and I want to talk about art in my life. So I would say that I was always interested in art because it's something special for me. And the roots are coming from my childhood because my mom, she's really talented. She can paint and she has different techniques and different styles as my sister also. I remember from my childhood where my older sister, she was just like paint all her room and use different magazines to clay the walls. And it was amazing. I mean, she was always creative and she tried to use her art skills everywhere to really help her out. And for my side of the story, I didn't have this talent of drawing. I can't draw. I mean, I can draw by numbers. I can just order some pictures and do it by the template, but I can't draw. I don't have this skill. Yeah, like definitely one time I was feeling bad about this because I felt like my mom can draw, my sister can draw, but why I don't have the skills, I don't have this talent. And I started kind of finding myself in the arts, and I would say that art is everything for me. It can be even like my crazy makeup today, it can be this painting by the template, it can be some art installation, some video or audio visualization. So it really doesn't matter, like, can you paint, can you draw with a pencil, and I started to find myself in other ways of art, and I started more thinking about this. I love art exhibitions, different paintings, different artists. Even like Hayao Miyazaki is like the anime director is also art for me. I think his cartoons are real art. So, and I'm just doing this project because I want to explain my perception and the perception of people, and also to show my favorite artworks of my friend artist Jean-Paul that you will also see in this interview. So just for now, I wanted to show and share my story about the art in my life because it was always helping me, and I think art is part of me. I believe that human is the art.
Suicide.
Yes. C'est détendu, mais he can look you, he can watch you.
Does it watch me?
Yes. It's here, that, mais it's not dead. Look. Pas besoin de ça. C'est pas quelque chose qui leur apporte vraiment dans leur vie. En tant que personne, si tu prends les choses individuellement, mais collectivement, c'est quelque chose d'énorme pour le monde, pour la société. Ça fait vraiment évoluer même les esprits, c'est-à-dire même le regard des gens à travers le monde. Et même quand tu regardes les grottes la grotte de Lascaux, tous ces trucs-là, ben c'est vraiment des choses qui restent et qui communiquent. C'est par rapport à ces choses-là, parce que le dessin, c'est par rapport à ces choses-là qu'aujourd'hui, on arrive à connaître, à mieux connaître cette époque. Et c'est les seuls, quand tu regardes même les impressionnistes, quand tu regardes BECADocs, c'est le seul truc qui voyage à travers le temps. Le reste, ça reste pas. Nous, en tant que personne, ça reste pas. Alors sur le moment, on voit pas l'importance de l'art.
Art is the way that people connect to each other. And although it's expressed by its own freedom, it can also be expressed by the nature itself. And art is never one-dimensional. It can be expressed in many mediums.
Art can be anything for anyone. It can be my hair, it can be this hoodie, or it can even be this background. But what unites us all is its capacity to ignite a flame deep inside our hearts and soul that can even start like even the smallest of fire that makes us feel passionate and makes us feel alive.
Is he good, talented, and charismatic? Is he extraordinary? This artist is impressive. Isn't that right? Tastes differ, but it is important to understand how much the artist catches you and inspires you. You need to know that almost every artist appreciates his work, and the opinion of a viewer is very subjective. It's up to you to decide which artist and creativity is close to you. What about me? I believe that a person is the art that is perfected through the years, centuries, and it is who is available to leave something behind in the form of some kind of work, preserving it a reflection of his era and life. These works will cherish the memories and a certain vision of certain artists.
Anastasia, thank you for this window into your thought process and your exploration of art, which really culminates with you yourself becoming the work. So come on up and share with us a little bit.
So hello. So this is Anastasia who was making this art video. So I would say that, you know, this is really special and intimate work for me. I mean, I was doing first of all for myself. And this video is about more different perceptions because I was curious and psychologically how like people react on differently on the art, on paintings, on masterpieces, and especially their perception to that. So I wanted to express by this video that it's, you know, like we're living in a modern world and art can be different, it can be different things and can be everything. So we don't have to be afraid to express ourselves even if we see this world differently. So this was my kind of answer to how I see this world, actually what kind of artist I chose, how I introduced myself and alive the painting, The Girl with the Pearl, it was me. So I want just to share this experience and motivate you like to inspire yourself. Even if you can't do something, it doesn't mean that you're not a part of this world. So yeah.
Questions or comments?
I thought it was very visually refreshing.
Thank you. Yep.
Can you get the microphone?
What were the challenges of making it?
I think my biggest challenge was like to kind of justify my video, why I'm making this, why I'm doing like this, why I'm using these parts, and like, you know, the idea was to show myself in this and at the same time to make it interesting to the audience.
So the challenging part was here to get concentrated on things that my audience wants to see and to make it more entertainment for them. So yeah, the most difficult part was to connect these different parts together and to show the one picture in that. Yep.
Yeah, I'm curious about the last segment where you sort of merge yourself into the girl with a pearl earring. And I wondered if that was a way of your trying to experience what she was experiencing at the moment that the painting was created, or were you imposing your own experience on top of that? I'm just really curious if you could comment on that.
So like what kind of part I was taking in this process, or?
No, I mean, it's like you merge,
Yeah.
you merge yourself as her into her.
Yeah.
And it's kind of a thing which says in my mind where you trying to experience her state of feeling at the time that the artist created that painting, or were you putting your current state of feeling into her? I guess it's about the best way I can articulate it.
Yeah, thank you for this more detailed question. So I would say that here I was trying to alive this portrait, to give this portrait like feelings and the real modern face, because now it's like kind of a trendy thing that people try to shoot more classical movies that times and to alive the pictures. It was like a trend, especially during the COVID, and I just wanted to give this painting the modern face and how it will look together, and also to justify that for me, human is the art already, because human is the person who is doing something that becomes art. So human is the art. Like Mona Lisa, the pearl with the earring, these are real women who are existing, and now they're famous portraits.
All right, thank you. All right, next up we have a film by Almira Bianca Baldoza, Such a Torment to Look for Rent in San Francisco.
For many, it's like a dream to be here in San Francisco, but for me, who's currently here, it's been such a struggle. So a little background about me, my name is Bianca, I'm a student at SF State, and I moved it 3 times this year. It's very, very challenging, especially if you're here in the most expensive city in the world. So I had to look for places that fits my criteria, my budget, a considerate landlord, and someone who would choose me too. Because even if I do find those, what if they don't choose me? So earlier this year in March is when I moved to San Bruno, but I was just alone there and I wanted to try to be independent. My rent there was $1,800, but it was too noisy. It was beside the Caltrain and I could hear the airplanes there, and it was just an in-law, so my room was beside the owner, but the owner was not usually there. And then I had to move again because my mom came, so I had to look for a 2-bedroom apartment, and that's where I went to Daly City. And I will be showing you my place before. So before, it was too crowded. I practically lived in the basement, and when you enter the garage or the main entrance, you're gonna be blocked by the car, by the upstairs neighbor, because they pay $100 for the rent for the car only, excluding their actual rent, which I think is around $3,200. But for my place, it was $2,200 for me and my mom. So as you can see, there is no space there. And it's so hard for us to move around, so hard to organize our stuff because there is no space to organize it or to put it.
I want to move house because the problem is, it's very noisy sometimes. Even if you are sleeping, you can hear your footstep, the stamping of the food, and moving of the furnitures, and etc.
How is the house hunting process for you?
Oh, it's so hard to find a house here in San Francisco, Daly City. Sometimes I really wanted to transfer, but I saw somewhere there on the other block, before there on the other block, just let's say example yesterday, and then when I go back there today, it's already occupied. Someone got it already. So there's because so many people living here, so it's like you are trying your luck, or it's like a lottery, finding a good house here in Daly City.
In the same neighborhood, one of my friends also have issues.
So yeah, we've been living here for almost 2 years now, and the carpet it gets really, like, it gotten really dirty now because we have 2 dogs and they're not trained, so they will pee everywhere unless we put like some pads. And also, let me just turn this on. We have a washer. It broke, but they never fixed it for us because they were telling us that we broke it, and then according to the lease, it says that if we broke it, we have to pay for it, but it's really expensive. Like if we buy a new washer, we also have to get another dryer, which is crazy because they're the landlord. They're supposed to be providing that for us. And yeah, this is my sister's bedroom. We have these 2 little dogs here. I don't want them to get out. But yeah, the landlord mentioned something that dogs are not allowed. But we couldn't do anything. We can't give them out. Like, we love these 2 dogs. They grew up with us already. Yeah, they never mentioned anything about adding extra to the bill. But yeah, that's one of the reasons that we also wanted to move out, to find a place that has hardwood floor, not carpet anymore, and some landlords that doesn't really discriminate dogs in general.
Christian was able to find a good place, but it still sucks because the landlord can still kick you out any time whenever they want to change their policy. So I tried my best to look for a new place, and we stayed there for 3 months, and then after that I had to look in Zillow, in Craigslist, in Facebook Market. I had to look for places, and it's really challenging because first of all, you could get scammed because there's like a lot of incidences where, most especially in Craigslist, where there's gonna be like a long message description of the house, and then you're gonna have to look for it, and they're gonna text you, and then it's gonna be your own discretion if you want to continue, because there's some of them that gives Airbnb links where they're gonna be saying that they're gonna be out for 3 months and they just need people to rent it out through Airbnb, and then they're not gonna return your money anymore. And then I also registered for Zillow. That's actually how I found the places. I paid $50 so that they would be able to put me in the application, screen me and everything like that, and give it to the landlords that are looking for tenants. And I had to put my criteria there. The first of all, 2 bedrooms, and then after that, I want something, a place with my own parking space, and then I want laundry and washer and dryer in the same location, so I don't have to go have a hassle of going to the laundry area and the washer outside. So I had to look for all the things that I wanted to do, and it was really challenging.
Hey Bianca, welcome to my place.
Okay, could you show us around your house?
You bet. So this is the main sort of family area, and it has kind of bay windows in the front here, kind of overlooking the street. And so this is like the main kind of living area. Some built-in bookshelves. And then right back here is the first bedroom, kind of small bedroom. I usually use it for an office.
Okay.
So this here is the kitchen.
Oh, okay, you can go. Okay. It has a good lighting, like a yellow lighting.
It's pretty good. And then like one thing you'll see, like in San Francisco, the houses are all really close together. So actually the neighbors on both sides are really close. So there's a neighbor right here. And kind of separated by a fence, but pretty close. And then on this side, you'll see when we go in the back here, that has also kind of a house in an in-law unit in the back. And then right through here is the bedroom, kind of the larger bedroom.
So how did you find this place?
You know, I mostly relied on Craigslist to find this place, and that's also the way I did my kind of prior apartment hunts, like in the city. I've tried a few different resources, but I kind of found that Craigslist was pretty good, pretty helpful. And you know, I've kind of heard some folks who have had sort of bad experiences with Craigslist. I kind of found for me it was pretty helpful. And kind of one of the things I was looking for was I wanted to rent something from somebody that would be an individual kind of homeowner, just so I could have that kind of one-on-one, you know, kind of relationship or business relationship, as opposed to needing to deal with, say, like a big kind of management company or something. Because I've done that as well. And, you know, the only kind of the downside of that is that it's a little bit tough to sometimes, you know, kind of get the right relationship, like when you're kind of removed from the owner of the house. I found that, like, by virtue of renting this house from the person who owns it, it just makes it easier because, you know, we can talk when there's a problem. You know, she's pretty responsive when there's an issue, and that's something I was kind of looking for. Yeah.
We have here Anastasia, who found her place in Facebook Marketplace.
Hello, welcome to my apartment. So I think it's better like to start to put off your shoes and we can go. So I live like in a 2-bedroom apartment in the business center. So this is my room that is like separated with kitchen. So that's why it's like pretty dark now. So yeah, so welcome. So here like I have a kitchen. So it's pretty like this, and there is like a bathroom, and also very good benefits of my apartment that I have like a dryer and a washing machine, so it's already included. I have it in my apartment. I have 2 roommates, so we have like 3 rooms. Usually it's like really quiet, and it's really, I think I got a really good chance to live here. So this is like my bathroom. So really nothing special, like girls and stuff. So yeah, something like this. We try to keep it clean, and everything should be clean and neat. So this is also like the kitchen. Usually we just turn on the lights because my room is with the curtains, so that's why we don't have like a light here. So yeah, now I will show you my room. So this is my room. So yeah, I don't have like so much furniture because I think I love space and it's like light, and you know, it's like more comfortable to clean less. So yeah, so this is like my wardrobe, and here like I'm painting, and you know, like table, chair. I also have a beautiful view from the window. Like there is a kind of bay.
Anastasia was able to find a good place for herself online, so I think online shouldn't be too bad. After tirelessly looking for a place online, I finally found a place that I like. It has enough space, plus there's a good view.
Yes, please.
I told the
And then I will
landlord
give
that I
you a
love the
copy
place,
of
it's
this,
perfect for me, and I signed the
and that's
lease
it.
right away.
And then everybody know this gets signed here. Welcome to mail it or just drop it off at our office. We have a building just over the hill in Pacifica. Maybe I'll just leave them here for you next week to go over at your own time and sign them. So there's the lead. We have to, for everybody, this building's built before 70 something, 1978.
After signing the addendums and completing the other stuff, I took my keys and was ready to move. So we finally made it today, which is the day I finally get to move. It's here in the same area in Daly City. It's an apartment, so it has my own space, my own mailbox, there's a laundry area, and most importantly, my own parking spot. We have to continue. We have to play by the game of life, which is to know how to live by, to know the rules. So that's why I'm telling you the rules, you know, like what's happening right now in the renting situation. So that is what's happening. Everything is online now. You could even do virtual tours, and you can do everything online if you want, if you don't want to meet the person in person, but that is susceptible to scams if you're giving out money right away. It's better to see everything in person first before you give the actual money. So yeah, so in a nutshell, it is a torment to live in San Francisco, but it also cannot be a torment. It's up to you, really. It's up to your perspective, how you want to see it. But even if it's hard, San Francisco is still worth it. There's a lot of beautiful places here, a lot of events, and it's not San Francisco for nothing. It's San Francisco for a reason. And yeah, you choose it, you choose the price, and you're here, so might as well enjoy.
Bianca, that torment is so universally relatable to all of us in the Bay Area. So I am so relieved that you no longer have to live garage adjacent. So congratulations on that. So all right, everyone, please welcome Bianca.
Okay. Hi everyone. First I want to apologize because it's not the best, like the audios and the edits, but I passed it like last minute. I just want to say thank you for your patience to my professor. So I think it's really challenging when you have to document what you're going through. Like while you're experiencing it, it's hard to document and put some angles and style it the way you want it to be. So I just had to work with what I had, and then also it's also challenging how you have to speak about your experience. I mean, I'm still experiencing it right now. It's still 2023. It's the same year, and I just fixed this place like just last weekend. So I had to really work with everything I have, and my footages were all not really good. It was shaky, and I didn't really ask for anyone's help because I had my own time. I work full time too, so I have to do everything by myself. So it was really challenging. And then my first footages of the first house was like really shaky, so I just had to screenshot it to make it stable. So yeah, I just had to work with what I have. And I thank everyone. Thank you for watching and for the guidance of my professors. And I'm just happy that it's done and we made it. So yeah, thank you.
Bianca, question.
You did fine. Oh, thank you. Thanks. Thank you. Okay, so I have any questions?
For the online.
Oh. Yeah, it seems like you're like really making do with everything that you have, and like it really show from like you moving from the old house, like also like made do with that house, and like now moving to a new place, fixing it, like making it like livable. So like yeah, just want to say congrats. And honestly, like guys, just ask for lower rents. Like honestly, landlords can work with you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, our final film of the evening is Silver Bullet by Morgan Butler.
This doesn't get any more extreme than what we're doing.
There's nothing fast enough, nothing crazy enough, nothing dangerous enough. None of it matches the adrenaline and the capability of getting hurt.
Fun, but super stressful as far as trying to make that go time and get everything to happen.
It's fast, it's silver, and it's a small car, and it looks like a dart or a bullet when it goes down the track.
The Silver Bullet is a 1963 split-window Corvette. Originally built to run nitrous, the team converted the car to a screw-blown Hemi engine, outputting more than 3,700 horsepower and running as low as 569 in the quarter mile.
Myself, Jeff Butler, tried for 4 or 5 years to get this car to go down the track, and it would go about 300 feet and smoke the tires.
And we came to a point, no matter how much money, and Dave's not afraid to put money at the car, how much money we put in this car? We just couldn't seem to get it over that threshold.
We knew what needed to be done. The motor had to be moved back. I was very reluctant to do that, to cut up a beautiful car. I just kind of made the decision, came out here with a Sawzall and cut the front of the car off. Decided that was it. Now we're going to do it.
Once we did that, the car started reacting to changes. All the good parts that we had been buying all kind of came together in a neat package, and then I just started picking away at the tune-up.
Jerry Bickle, that built the car, said the car would never go over 245, and we've been 263. Some pretty good accomplishments out of a garage in Elk Grove.
It's race weekend at Famosa Raceway in Bakersfield, California. So far this year, the Silver Bullet team has gone undefeated in competition, winning the last 2 races. This is the final race of the season, and if they win, they will finish with a perfect record. The team runs a 5.73 in the first round of qualifying, putting them in the #1 position. In the current standings, the 7-car field isn't very competitive, with only one other team managing to make a full pass.
The pro mods have kind of separated themselves from the rest of the cars. We're going so fast, it makes it hard for a guy to want to go to a race and get beat up all the time by a car that's running 570s and you can run 6 flat.
To the top! This is truly what we like doing, and right now, this is the...
I like bigger fields where there's more cars. That's always a lot funner. I mean, it's not very exciting when there's 6 cars that show up.
So where this sport is going, I think the drag racing will be here for a while, even if they go into electric cars. I don't know that pro mods will be here forever, not at this level.
The Silver Bullet team improves on their time in the second round of qualifying, running a 570 at 255 miles per hour, securing them the #1 position. Their competitors also improved on their times, with the #2 qualifier less than 1/10 of a second behind the Silver Bullet team. Because it isn't a full show, the Silver Bullet team will have a bye in the first round and won't race against anyone until the second round of eliminations.
The car's running great. Well, all we need to do is run great 3 times tomorrow and get a win like 3 times tomorrow, and we'll be good. You know, the car's only wide open throttle for 5 or 6 seconds, but there's hundreds of hours to be put into prepping the car for that.
I have a saying that if I don't take it apart, it's going to take itself apart. Well, if you take it apart, you can see the things that are wearing out are going to break. I try to be in front of it instead of behind it. We have 11 passes on the rods, they're replaced. Valve springs go 3 races and they're replaced. It's an expensive sport. It's more expensive if you don't take it apart and look at it. I love to do what I'm doing. I love to work on the car. I love to find hundredths of a second, 1/10 of a second. It's a challenge.
We'll go the race and I'll capture all the data. I'll take it home and I'll start analyzing it, and I'll look at everything. I'll look run to run, and I'll try to figure out what can we do to just find a little more power. And it's amazing what you have to do on a car of this caliber to just pick up 1/10 of a second.
It takes innovation at an extreme level. Myself and Jeff and Brett, I think that's all we think about is what we can do to make everything better.
All those little details, that's what gets you to the winner's circle.
While backing up from the burnout, the team misses a signal from Jeff to move the car to the right side of the lane. As it's lined up now, the cars aim to hit a bald spot on the raceway and lose traction. They're going to push the car back and move it over in the lane. Still reeling from the chaos of repositioning the car, the crew moves quickly to get staged. But as Jeff signals for Brett to approach the starting line, he accidentally leaves his foot in the staging beam. The other driver thinks Brett is ready and proceeds to stage his car. Dave notices that the stage beam is triggered, and Jeff jumps out of the way. With the competitor ready to go, Brett has to stage on his own.
I'm so sorry.
Fucked him all up.
I'm so sorry. I'm sorry I was standing in the beam.
I know. I didn't realize it after the saved again.
The Silver Bullet team has won, but it's a bittersweet victory. Jeff catches the other driver on his way back to the pits to apologize.
I'm really sorry if that messed you up in any way. I'm truly sorry.
Okay, we're moving.
Racing is emotional, but it is because you pour so much of your heart, soul, time, and money in it, and everybody out there has got that same investment. They all pour their same amount of heart, soul, time and money in it. So we're all like brothers and sisters out there.
It's a very humbling sport, I got to tell you. It's a very expensive sport, but you get good guys around you and it's fun.
I imagine there's more expensive hobbies or sports than stupid drag racing, but I don't know of any. We get out of it the only thing that we enjoy doing, I guess.
This isn't about the money, it's about the bragging rights and being able to take something that is virtually impossible to most people and make it go as fast as we do.
As the team is getting called to the lanes for the final round, they discover that the engine has no oil pressure.
Taking the pan down, maybe finding one bearing, the number 3 main bearing, maybe we can see.
You got to start with number 3.
Yes. You know, I know, that's usually where it is.
The team thinks it might be a failed engine bearing.
Untangle this cord. Jeff, untangle this.
They tear into the engine to try and locate the issue.
Bottom brake, come on.
As the clock runs down, they still haven't found the problem.
We'll make sure that that bearing's on there.
Dave talks to the competition to buy some much-needed time.
To wait for us, we'll wait for him.
And the 6K.
To cover all the bases, the team decides to replace the oil pump as well.
Which part?
The bottom of it.
Something there?
Yeah.
They found the issue, a loose connection on the oil pump, and just in time as their competitor starts to warm up their car. The crew races to get everything back together. The car fires up and the oil pressure is back.
Anyone can drive a race car when the race car is on a perfect run. They don't need driver input. They don't need to be shifted right. They don't need to be nothing right. They'll just kind of go down the racetrack all by themselves with a monkey driving it. But when they're in trouble, that's what separates the good drivers from the bad drivers. And so far, knock on wood, I haven't crashed anything.
Myself, Jeff, everybody on the team makes sure that the first thing is Brett's safety. The car can be replaced. We can fix it. Can't fix Brett. So we got to take care of that guy first.
I have to go into the car knowing full well that I'm confident in everything they did. Whether it's putting the tire on it, putting the tune-up in it, I rely on them to do all of it outside the car and give it to me not to crash, I guess.
Thank you, Jeff. Thank you, Bill. So better, your air is on.
Oh, you're most welcome. Enjoy the ride.
Breathing air is on. Hope I enjoy
I
got your fire extinguisher pins in my hand, buddy. Awesome, brother.
All right, kick his ass. Everyone cross-checks each other. Everyone's accountable for what they do. And they all understand that mistakes, you can't make a mistake.
Fuck yeah.
I think everybody has some kind of God's gift, and it sounds kind of funny, but my God's gift's always been to drive.
That's how you drive a fucking Pro Mod. Fuck yeah! I better have won after all that, huh? Yes!
Was that a drag race?
Oh yeah, well,
Fucking great job, bro.
He's shaking the tires and I'm all, go ahead, shake the fucking tires. Stupid is what it is. I know I got there first, and then I'm like, fucking shithead, you better not have red lit. I was probably a year late and I don't care. Holy crap. The final round's always pressure, but maybe every round's a pressure. I feel good about it. I'm super blessed to be with this team. They're the hardest working guys out here. The track might have went away, I don't know. They had an excellent tune-up in it, and they rattled the tire a little bit, started spinning the tire, and I had no choice but to hang on. When I shifted it, spun the tire again, shook the tire again. As soon as my vision came back after shaking the tires, he wasn't over there, and I'm all, yeah, we just won this thing.
To win the race, just so awesome. And Andy and their crew, great guys to race with.
Between Jeff, Brett, that guy can drive anything and Jeff can tune anything. I just work hard and these guys around me work hard. It's a great day.
At the end of the day, you know, I think we persevered and we were able to overcome all the hurdles that we had thrown in front of us.
Everybody comes out here to win, I mean, no doubt. But at the end of the dang day on Sunday, there can only be a handful of winners, and I'm just super fortunate to be one of them right now.
We're going to come out of this year with a #1 we get to put on our car. We've been #4 for 4 years in a row. It's about damn time that we're #1.
Can I get a fuck yes? That was sick.
Come up here. Morgan, your God's gift is this.
Oh, thank you.
You know, the storytelling and dramatic art and the cinematography just so seamless from start to finish.
Oh, thank you.
Nicely done.
Thank you. I came up here like I had something prepared, but it was. I do want to just say a big thank you to Buddy, who did the voiceover and did the music for this. That was a huge help. If you didn't figure it out, my family drag races. And so it was kind of exciting to take this to an audience that's probably not familiar with this sport and try to toe that line between making this for an audience that's familiar with drag racing and then something that the rest of us might be able to understand as well. So I hope you got something out of it there.
Hell yeah.
6-second thrill ride.
Yeah. Yeah, Kendra.
So I know that you're really familiar with this. You've done it your whole life. What did you learn doing this documentary that you didn't think, like you thought you knew, but you didn't really know until you did this documentary?
About which aspect? About
any of it? Like, is there anything as you
about
were
production
going?
or racing?
Well, any of it, because as you
Oh,
were
goodness.
going, and you thought, oh, I know what I'm doing here, and you learned something
Yeah.
that you didn't expect.
Yeah, I mean, I think what was, you know, I don't, like, if you know me, my kind of passion is in live TV production, and I'm not like a huge field production person. And I think in some ways, as I was like editing this, I was like, oh, you picked a project that's basically live, right? And so, you know, there was a big challenge in trying to, by myself, capture all of that. GoPros were a godsend and very helpful during that process as well. As far as racing, the one thing that I did learn is that, you know, there's kind of that issue in the second round with the staging and what happened there. And I was originally looking into the rules to be able to explain it that way. And then I realized that there's like literally no rules about this, and it's just a courtesy about the way that you would typically stage within there. So it was kind of tricky to write around that and find that balance between understanding what's going on. Yeah. Yeah, Molly.
Thank you, Prerna. So were you riding with them when they were racing? I mean, does that mess with how fast they can go or anything? Like, how'd you get those shots, man?
Oh,
beautiful.
Man. Yeah, so it was, we had GoPro on the front of the car, GoPro positioned on like the back interior, and then one on the actual rear of the car. Unfortunately, in order to drive these cars, it's like a big licensing process, so I was never allowed. My mom said I couldn't, and so I started racing motorcycles instead, because that's better, right?
You weren't in, it was like stationed, like you had cameras inside the car in different locations.
Yeah, so 3 GoPros per run. Yeah. Yeah.
Who pays for this?
Who pays for this? Great question. So it's all just like a passion project. So to get out to a race, you're probably looking at around like $15,000 usually per race, and that's including like car and then lodging and food and crew and all that stuff. And so Dave pays for that. So Dave was the owner there in the documentary, but he's got money to blow. He just bought like a 20-bedroom house in Mexico, so it's like he's fine. He's doing fine. Yeah, right, yeah, cheap for him.
For a 5-man crew?
Yeah.
Do they make money at all?
Race prize might be like $3,000 to $5,000, but it's never gonna cover what it costs to get out there. There's a little bit of sponsorship, but this would be like your top level of like amateur racing in a sense. And the NHRA Pro Circuit, then you'd have sponsors that might actually get you some money coming in that way. What's up? Yeah.
I have a question. Because I know you said previously that this was the last race here, right? What was the name?
Oh no, they did a testing session at Sacramento Raceway during their last race.
The one that is closing?
Sacramento. Yeah.
Do you think there is a possibility of like this documentary contributing of the race not being closed?
I think it's a small bucket or small drop in the big bucket of problems around closing that racetrack. It's usually people complaining about the noise. Yeah. Yeah. Fun fact about Sacramento, though, the owner of that racetrack has a small biplane that he uses the raceway as his runway. So, multi-use, right? All right.
I think it's a well-done documentary. And did you try to pitch to some sport racing channels? They would accept this documentary with a pleasure.
Sure, yeah. I mean, I submitted to BEA. That's as far as I've gotten. All right, cool. Thank you for coming.
All right, thank you all so much for coming. This QR code will send you to our BECADocs page. So please go ahead and look at that on YouTube. All of the films will also be available there, and please like them and share them with your friends. Thank you so much for coming out tonight and supporting our students. We really appreciate it. Good night. Thank you, Kendra.
We got 2 bowls. We only ordered 1. I don't want to throw food away.
Thanks, Mark. That was seamless.
Yep. So that's now full screen. Mics are muted.
Did we stop the...
I will in a minute, but that'll leave this for like a minute at the end.
Okay, thanks. Thank you, Prerna.
And all in 45, but